Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Let's take a look at some of the new features in ClipTools 1.2. MACMOST and ClipTools are brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 1,000 supporters. Go to MACMOST.com/Patreon. There you can read more about it, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. Now for those of you who haven't heard of ClipTools before, it's my free Clipboard Manager app that's available in the App Store. And it has all the basic Clipboard Manager functions, including saving a history of your clipboard. In addition, there's something in it called SmartClips, and in the new version 1.2 there are several new features to SmartClips. So the first function we're going to look at is the replace function. So the idea here is maybe you want to replace some words in text that's selected with something else. So I've got two names here. Let's say we want to replace every instance of Mark with Joe. So you can create a SmartClip for that. So I'm going to go into ClipTools here, SmartClips, and add a new SmartClip. And then here's what I'm going to use. So the way the replace function works is you start it off like this, replace : and then you have the thing you're going to replace and what you're going to replace it with the separator in between. That's the little pipe symbol on the keyboard. If you add another pipe symbol and then an I after it, it makes it case insensitive. So it would replace capital Mark or lowercase mark, either one. I'm not going to use that here. Now you might think in most SmartClips there's no reason to ever use replace. If I've got the word Mark in a SmartClip, just change Mark to Joe and use the SmartClip from that point on. But you can have functions like selection that takes the currently selected text and then you can perform a replace on that. And this will replace every instance of Mark with Joe. And I can have multiple replaces as well. So let's add this one. Then I'm going to select this text and I'm going to use the SmartClip. And you can see Mark was replaced with Joe in two places. So you can use it for all sorts of things like that. Here's another example. Let's say in this case you've got product numbers that are done like this. And what you really want is to change them to something like this. And see how the parentheses are added around it. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a SmartClip to take care of that. So we'll go to SmartClips, add new. And then we'll start with the selection. And we want to put parentheses around the results here. So I'm going to add a left parenthesis and a right parenthesis around this. Then I'm going to do a replace. And then I'm going to replace the number or pound or hash symbol with product number with a space after it like that. And so that will replace this with product number with a space and it will surround the results with parentheses there. So I'll add this. Now when I select this here and use this SmartClip, you can see it does what I want. So the next new function I want to show you is the Calc function. Now of course in SmartClips you can already do calculations by choosing paste calculation, say, and then typing something like 6 times 9 and you get the result like that. And you can get pretty complex in those calculations. You can also calculate selection. So you could do something like 6 times 9 minus 3, select that, and calculate selection. And it replaces the selection with the result. But now you can do calculations as part of SmartClips as well. So for instance, I can go in here to SmartClips, add new. Let's say we want to be able to tell people in a message how many boxes their order will ship in. It's 6 items per box. So we want to have a SmartClip that automatically does this for us. So you can say your order will ship in. And now we don't know how many boxes it takes. It's a calculation. So we're going to do a calc function here. And then after the colon we put the calculation. Now if we were just going to do something like 6 times 9, there's really no point to that because we could just do the calculation now and then put 54 in there. But you can put other functions inside this. The calc function will operate after those. So I can use the ask function and ask how many items ? And I'll be prompted for that. And then I'm going to put that as part of the calculation, but I'm going to divide it by 6. Now if I divide it by 6 and it's an odd number like 9, I'm going to get 1.5. And your order is not going to ship in 1.5 boxes. It's going to ship in 2 boxes. So what I'm going to do in this calculation is I'm going to put parentheses around this with the ceil function, ceiling. So it's going to round upwards. So now it should ask how many items. Divide that by 6. Round upwards with the ceiling function. And I'll finish off the calc function there. And I'll then put a space, boxes, period. And I'm going to add that as a SmartClip. So now if I run that SmartClip like this, it's going to prompt me how many items. Let's say it's going to be 15 items. Okay, your order will ship in 3 boxes. It does the calculation. So you can have multiple calculations. Of course, inside this you can also put selection as part of the calculation as well. And you can use other SmartClip functions in it as well, like generating random numbers or choosing a random item. Now here's the last new function, and it actually doesn't do anything. It just kind of helps you navigate ClipTools. But it is one of the most requested features by far. And that's the ability to add titles to the SmartClips. So right now if I look in the SmartClips menu, I see the text of the SmartClip trying to represent what it is. But if I hold down Option and Command, then I can edit. So I'm going to edit this one. I'm going to add, and I can do it anywhere, the beginning or the end, a title function like that. And I can give it a title. So I'll do Mark to Joe. And then I'll end that function there. This will be ignored when you actually use the SmartClip. It'll only be used in the menu. So now I look at the menu here, SmartClips, and there it is. That SmartClip is titled that. I could do the same thing with others. So I can Option, Command, edit this. I can add title. I'll just do it at the end here. And I'll say, product number like that. And now notice that in SmartClips it shows product numbers there. And I can still use it the same as before. It just makes it a little nicer to actually look at them in the menu. There are a few other changes that I want to point out. One is if you go now to Settings, notice that in addition to being able to clear Clipboard Manager data for clips and saved clips, you can also clear the SmartClips and calculations. The saved calculations, every time you do one, it saves it in a list so you can go back and recall a calculation you did earlier. You could also get to these with a new special options menu. So normally when you choose ClipTools like this, it brings up ClipTools with everything. If you hold the Option key down before you click the menu, it has to be before, then the menu comes up differently and you get clear clips, saved clips, SmartClips, previous calculations. This is for quickly clearing them. Note that it does it instantly without a prompt. I plan on in the future maybe clarifying that by saying clear all clips, clear all saved clips, and all of that. So you can get to those with the new options menu. And this new options mode for ClipTools may allow me to add some more items here in the future, maybe access more of the settings or other ways that you can alter how ClipTools works. So if you don't have ClipTools yet, give it a look. It's in the Mac App Store completely free, no in-app purchases or anything like that. It's supported by all the people that are part of Club MACMOST at Patreon. Hope you find it useful. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.